Hi! Hello! This is a little bit of a weird angle. I've been trying to find a place in my apartment that I can film at night that will give me the lighting that I need. And every place that I've tried hasn't been good enough, so I literally put the camera in a cabinet to film me from this angle so that I could film this video for everybody. I know it's not the most professional way to shoot, but it is just me, and I have to rely on natural lighting. So this is gonna have to do. I had filmed a video where I read an article that I wrote originally for a magazine called Dyspraxia in Life, which I mentioned in a previous video ages ago. I had previously recorded a video of me reading it, but I was unhappy with my performance. So I decided to redo it, and hopefully this time I will do a better job than I did last time. So without further ado, I hope you enjoy my rendition of an article that I wrote called the Theatric Dyspraxic Backstage. So I cannot keep this sleeve up. Just one of those things that I get wrong, I guess. Every time I try to roll it up. Can't you tell I'm from Texas? Alright, let's get started. It is early as I walk into the theater. Only a few people have preceded me. I always come early, because if I shot for being on time, I would most assuredly arrive late. I am repeating my lines over and over so that I have no way of forgetting them, just like I did all day today, as well as every day for the past 2 months. I try to get them locked in, so that when the time comes that I stand under the stage lights and embrace the audience with my presence, I don't get sidetracked, and the lines don't get lodged somewhere behind the part of my brain that screams, "Everyone is looking at you!" I was the first in our cast to be off book, as I often am. Not because I have a great memory, but because my memory is terrible. And so I know that if I want to learn my lines at all, I had better focus on it and spend all my time studying, because I have no time to waste. Besides, there's more than just lines to rehearse again and again and again to get just right. As others arrive in the theater, they take a nearby chair and sit still, their noses diving right into their script. I can't work that way. I can't sit still on a night like this with all this restless energy and adrenaline running through my body. I need to be up and moving. And so I pace along the backdrop, keeping my lines on a continual rotation between distractions. I give myself a rhythm, almost in a sing-song routine. Music has a way of getting stuck in our heads, and I figure lines can have the same effect if we make them musical. Besides, what we're performing tonight is a musical anyway, and as much as I need to focus on my lines, I need to get myself geared up for the song and dance numbers that I'm in. I know that I have my lines down, but will my brain be able to recall them at precisely the right moment when I need them? Or will they get stuck in my throat as the footlights send sensory waves directly into my conscious mind? I check the prop table to make sure that my props are neatly in place, though I know that they're still where I left them at our dress rehearsal. But I'm so scatterbrained, I can't always trust that I won't lose them. All sorts of thoughts are bouncing around in my head. I can't keep track of them all. I've never forgotten a line during a performance. But what if someone else does? Will I be prepared for the sudden ad-lib? I'm nothing without preparation, and I'm not good with being put on the spot. That's why I regard the rehearsal process with such importance. I can do it. I've had to do it before, but it always comes out awkward and forced because it's a break from the usual routine. Going over the show again and again, imagining the perspective of the audience, observing my conceptual performance from all angles, I get used to the rhythm of it all. And if just one thing breaks from that rhythm, then the whole show is thrown off for me. People often watch me in amazement at how organized I seem. But my organizational skills have nothing to do with it. I'm just so invested in my craft. If they only knew what I had to put myself through to get where I need to go. I decide to take a break and head into the green room where I see my newest friends. People I've gotten to know for the past few months and who I've been able to impress with my inexplicable charm. To them I just seem like a goofy dork who seems peerless in his confidence in what we're doing. But they don't know that other side of me. They wave at me, and I wave back, but tonight I'm not feeling like a conversationalist. I have far too much on my mind already. Come on, keep focus. It's 45 minutes to showtime, so I'd better get dressed. I go to put on my costume. Thankfully, it's not too complicated a process this time. It's just a general suit and tie, nothing fancy. Well, it is fancy, but there's not too many layers. I go upstairs to the men's dressing room where my costume is located, folded chaotically over the hanger like a dead whale on a tightrope. If Tim Gunn ever saw how I treat my garments, he'd probably faint. I just can never seem to fold right, even at my greatest effort. I start with the pants, nearly falling backwards onto my bum from just the lift of one leg, barely catching my unstable balance. Then I put on the shirt, button by button. My fingers find their way to the collar, and I look in the mirror asking for the 40th time, should I button the top? It's in this confusion that I realize that I missed one, and I have to start all over. Bottom to collar, collar to bottom. After the fiasco, it's on to the tie. Yeah, right. I approach one of the other men, one that I've begun to trust not to be judgmental or ask questions, and like usual, he helps me. Like so many other things, I'm sure if I even knew how to tie a tie, I still wouldn't be able to pull it off. Unless it was clip-on. I head back to the green room. One of the stage moms is putting final touches on one of the actors when she turns to me and asks, do you want me to do your makeup or do you want to do it yourself? I chuckle. I think you better do it. And so she tells me to sit still as she applies the foundation, which feels warm under the fluorescent lights. As I sit still in the chair, it takes every bit of discipline to keep myself from squirming, especially as she applies the eyeliner. Every part of my body is screaming to blink, but I shut it out. I've been through this process so many times, and I've learned to keep my eyes focused on the light switch in the corner. Once the makeup is applied, I go to the mirror with a small tube of hair gel and I start fixing my hair. From the pocket, I pull out a wide-toothed comb and part my hair at my cowlick, gliding the comb from the roots to keep it flat. But there's always that one loose hair that wants to stand at attention. Perhaps it's not the hair that's the problem, but my hands. Oh, these hands have always been trouble since my early days. If my hair wasn't thinning, it might provide some more assistance. One of the kids in the production approaches me and asks me why I keep looking in the mirror. I'm sure to him I seem like a complete narcissist. I take a step back and look at myself from full view. I turn to the side and straighten out my posture. Something still doesn't look quite right. The symmetry is lacking. Then the doors to the green room open. And there she is. Her. She's late, but she's already had her makeup and hair done. And she's carrying her tap shoes for the big dance number. All she needs is to slip into costume. And she smiles at me. I smile back, but I have no words. Except for those lines that are in my head, surmounting everything else. Even this budding romance. I'm feeling good tonight. I'm self-conscious, but that's nothing new. And I'm sure that whatever worries are in my head are irrational. And when I head out on the stage, I'll feel the character move through me. Of course, I won't become him, because everything is mechanical. I can't forget what I have to do. Move here. Raise your left hand. Turn to your right. Sit down. Sit up straight. Keep your throat clear. Articulate. Diction. 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 You can't let your muscles fail you now. The stage manager comes in. 5 minutes to curtain. Thank you, 5. We all yell. Here's my companion emerging from the dressing room. She smiles at me once more, and I smile back. I stand to her left. She turns and smiles shyly. Break a leg, she says. I give her a charming smirk. You too. We nudge shoulders. Circle is called and the director speaks, thanking us for all the hard work we put in. Hard work indeed, sir. But if only you knew how hard it really was. We hold hands in our circle and pray. Of course, my companion and I have made sure that we're standing next to each other so that for this moment we can hold hands. Everyone kneels their head except for me because I'm not religious. I look over to notice that my companion is also keeping her head up. We smile at each other, locking eyes as everyone is blind. We break off. My companion and I shake hands and pull each other inwards, knees tapping together. "Break a leg," we say in unison before we get into place. Echoed murmurs fill the auditorium, out of sight as I stand behind the curtain. I wonder if anyone I know is here. I stretch, keeping my body limber. I silently clear my throat. Good God. I'm nervous about the song. I couldn't read music, and so I had to learn it by ear. But even still, the music that sounds in my head is of a different pitch when I try to match it. I almost had my song cut from the show because the director felt I wasn't getting it quite right. Why, oh why, can't my voice not deliver what my mind so clearly hears? I hope my voice doesn't crack. Oh my God. This is way too much thinking. Do I even remember the lines? Oh man. I want to leave, but I can't. The show must go on. But what if I kill it? It would all be on me. And I couldn't explain to anyone how it isn't my fault. I mean, not in the sense that they're inclined to believe. Oh, brain. Find a way to remedy this. Then I look across to the wings on the other side. There's my companion, looking over, smiling encouragingly at me, giving me a thumbs up, as if to say, "You're gonna do great." Calm yourself. If a girl like that can keep fooled into thinking that you're some kind of talent, that you're in control, when your body and mind are against you, then you can surely fool that audience. Okay, they've gotten the announcements out of the way. You're sweating through your makeup, but you've got this. You've done it before. You can do it again. Alright, time to go out and do your first scene. You're not you this time. You're the character. Now go out there and claim that stage. The only place where you truly feel powerful. The only place where you truly feel in control. Alright, that's your cue, pal. It's time. Here it is. Showtime for the Theatric Dyspraxic. Anyway, I'm not going to know how I did until I edit this, so I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that my performance was satisfactory. If I had this memorized, I think I would have done a much better job. Whenever I actually learn lines or learn a monologue, I can control my speech patterns more. It's more difficult for me to recite something when I'm reading it while trying to give a performance at the same time and trying to speak it in an elegant kind of way or an eloquent kind of way. So, you know, I don't know if I mumbled, I don't know if I pronounced anything weird. I have kind of an odd way of talking, and it's just kind of the way it is. I try my best to remedy it and make it better, but just like everything else, it's kind of, there's a disconnect between my vision for the performance that I'm trying to deliver and just, you know, actually putting it into practice. But hopefully you enjoyed this somewhat. And again, if there's anything that you would like for me to read on camera, I would be happy to do it. And until next time, peace out, y'all.